Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you for joining. It's really nice to be here. It's class number 201. It was the big 200th birthday last week. But it was the Virtual Village Hall's birthday this week, and they're 5 years old, which is an amazing achievement set up during lockdown. And it's just gone from strength to strength. And I'd like to thank all of you guys as well for helping shape this amazing service, right? So much incredible content. Yeah, it just keeps going, right? And there's some amazing plans coming up as well. So keep an eye on all the socials. And talking about socials, think about how you can connect with the Virtual Village Hall. So probably through Facebook, that was the kind of one of the first mediums. But remember, there's a YouTube channel as well. So you can catch up on a lot of content on Facebook and on YouTube. Just like this. This is how you catch up. I don't know what this is going on with the hand today. I don't want to wear myself out. It's quite hot, isn't it? But also on things like Instagram, right? Everyone loves a bit of Instagram, don't they? I'm not sure if I love it. I spend too much time doing this, right? And then my wife says, what are you doing? And I'm saying, I'm doom scrolling. I'm emptying my brain. And then I walk around going, ugh, so Instagram. But if you use it in the right way, right, you can find amazing content. From the Virtual Village Hall. And then things like TikTok, which I always grin at TikTok because I'm not very good on TikTok. But a lot of people put out some incredible content on TikTok, and it's probably a medium that you like as well. So follow all of that stuff because then it really helps the reach. And one of the most important things is word of mouth, right? Talk about this. Talk about it to your friends and your family, and you've probably done that already. And if you've just kind of discovered us, then a wholehearted welcome. I'm going to do some yoga with you today. I also do chair yoga. This mat yoga we're going to do today is always at 2:30 on a Thursday. And chair yoga, it varies from week to week, but it's usually on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Thursday. Yeah, it's not generally on Wednesdays and Fridays because that was the day that I like to take off. Yeah, so that's that. So chair yoga varies, usually once a week. Always this class at 2:30 on a Thursday, and I've been doing it for 200 classes before this one. So yeah, if you're new to yoga, fantastic. And what I will say at the start, and I probably talk about it all the time, it's not about flexibility. If you're a dancer or a contortionist, then that's probably really important to be flexible. But most of us aren't, right? And if you are a contortionist, what a fantastic job you've got. And if you're a dancer, equally, right? We all dance in a certain way, but I'm talking about probably like a ballet dancer or someone who's kind of like danced all their lives. So we're thinking more about mobility instead of flexibility. I talked about it last week. This is how we move, right? This is how we continue to move as we all get older. And I'm grinning because it's super important. And when I was in my 20s, if someone said to me, Dave, talk to me about mobility. Talk to me about how you move as you get older. Well, I wouldn't be that interested to tell you the truth because I'm 20 odd. I can move. It's all right. But as we all get older, things get a little bit harder for us, don't we? Well, I was reading in a book about wellness and fitness in your 70s and 80s, which probably some of you guys are. And you probably will be able to, really think that this is a valid point. That fitness as a 70 and 80-year-old or in your 70s and 80s, congratulations on getting that far, by the way. It doesn't mean running marathons for most people, right? It doesn't mean being able to walk 30 miles at a time. It means being able to get on with your daily activities without help, by being able to go to the shops, being able to climb the stairs, all of those kind of things, the things that keep us independent. And one of the early indicators of mortality or early mortality is when we become isolated and we lose that ability to move around and life gets really difficult for us. Okay. Now, you might be in that place at the moment. Here's the good news. It can change. You can change. You're not stuck in the place that you are. So whatever was going on for you, and I don't want to diminish whatever is going on for, people, because it's real. And sometimes it's very painful. Sometimes it's very frustrating. And sometimes it's just damn right depressing, right? And catastrophizing. So, I'm not diminishing that. But what I'm saying is that we can all move in a certain way. So join my chair yoga class if you find that sitting on the floor or standing up and doing yoga isn't right for you right now. It might be in the future. It might not. It doesn't matter, right? Join me on the mat. like today, and we'll kind of move and we'll breathe together, because that's the beauty of yoga. Unfortunately, it's been hijacked by the wellness industry, and the wellness industry kind of takes beauty and it takes young, beautiful bodies, and they say, you're not like this, you don't deserve to do yoga. And it's an absolute nonsense. And I've said this before, but it really does, I'm going to use the word, it winds me up, because what it does, it says, this isn't for you, because you're not young enough, or you're not flexible enough, or you're not beautiful enough, and you don't move properly, and you don't do headstands on mountaintops or by the beach. You probably do. If you do, again, congratulations. There's nothing wrong with that. But for mere mortals like me, probably like some of you guys, yoga's about connecting with myself. It's about calming the mind. It's about getting into my breath. It's about changing my patterning, right? We can get really down and, you know, I nearly swore there. I've never sworn. I didn't know. I was going to say shucks. So, you know, we can get really down, and, you know, we can get really kind of tired and sort of stuck in our bodies. What we're going to do today is, hopefully, we're going to move through some of that, right? We're going to do, let's try and do everything seated today. So if you want to do most of this class, you can get in a chair and sit. That's absolutely fine, right? I'm not going to teach a chair yoga class, but you'll be able to adapt, right? So we'll do that. We'll get into the breath, and then we'll have a really nice amount of time in relaxation today. And you probably need that after I've spoken so much in this animated way. I'm very animated today, aren't I? Dave's very animated. What is going on with Dave? I've got my glasses on as well, because I'm suffering from hay fever, and I've given it about 3 or 4 times to get my contact lenses in. And they're not going in today. Cheers, by the way. Grab yourself a drink. It's warm. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some calming poses. We'll build it up a little bit, and then we'll calm it right down. But we're going to start with some breath work. So I'm going to go back there. I'm going to stop this chatter. I'm going to have a bit of tea. Chai again, right? I'm just sweating talking, everybody. So make yourself comfortable. Either get in a chair, get on your mat. Don't need a mat. Get on a blanket, cushion, pillow, whatever works for you. So here we go. I'm going to go back here. That's the most energized I've been all day. I've got a camper van, and I spend way too much money on my camper van. So I've been researching some bits and bobs for it today, and spending way too much money. Yeah, that's what I do when I have idle time. All right, maybe come with your legs crossed. You don't have to. You can bring the legs out. You can sit like this. I've got a wall behind me. I could sit with my back up against the wall. I'm not going to, because I feel okay here. Let's move just a little bit, because I realise that we're probably 8 or 9 minutes in, and I've just been chatting. It's all yoga, right? Though it's all yoga. Let's get away from it all being about movement. Bring the hands onto your knees, and then just begin to circle your torso around your hips. So inhale forward and exhale around. This is the first physical posture we've done, right? So get into this really slowly. Now, you know, I'm leaning quite a long way forward and bending quite strongly into my elbows, but you don't have to. You know, you can sit a little taller. Think about your navel. That's where all yoga starts. That's what the ancient yogis would say anyway. You know, all yoga starts from the navel center. That's where our kind of movement comes from, and our kind of awareness. And maybe match this movement with breath. So keep going in the same direction. We're going to swap it out. Inhale forward, exhale round. Inhale forward, and then exhale round. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm just going to get into, I guess, the feeling. It's a feeling practice, right? It's not a thinking practice. We're kind of feeling into our body. We're kind of working out what's going on. And this is just circling your torso around your hips. I've just got a really nice breeze come through. On the other side of the camera over there is, I've got a nice double balcony door. I live right in the centre of Leicester, so I can see a little bit of green space. There's a park, which is quite nice. But I've got a nice little breeze going on. It's going to be 10 degrees tomorrow, isn't it? I've been moaning all week about it's too hot, and then I'll be moaning tomorrow about it's too cold. So anyway, contentment, right? It's another part of yoga. Inhale, come back to centre. Take a full exhale. And then come back the other way. It's a new movement, right? Even though, you know, it's similar because we're just rotating in the opposite direction, but it's a new movement because it is an opposite direction. So just be gentle the first few, and then maybe match the movement with breath. Inhale here, exhale here. Stay nice and relaxed through your jaw. Stay nice and relaxed through your face, shoulders, upper back. Try not to let any tension build in the body. We're trying to let go of tension. And then inhale, come back to center, and exhale. And then just do that one more time. Maybe do this, root the fingertips down into the floor, or if you're in a chair, just the side of the chair. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And then if it feels okay, just hold your breath. You'll know if it's not right for you straight away. If it feels like, a bit anxiety coming into the body, don't do it. If you're with me, maybe you exhale through the mouth, sigh it out. And then one more like that. Nice deep inhale through the nose. Maybe pause the breath. Think about your navel. Squeeze the belly up. Squeeze the belly in. And exhale, let the breath go. Beautiful. Little movement through the neck. But before we go there, lean back into the hands. Release your feet if you're down with me on the mat. And then like a nice familiar movement. Just knock the knees side to side. Now, none of this stuff we're doing is super complicated. And it's designed to be like that, right? This is the kind of yoga, number one, I like to practice because it got me into yoga, this sort of style. But also I like to teach it because I think it is relatively accessible. It stops that idea of someone saying, I can't do it because I'm not flexible. You don't need to be particularly flexible to do this, right? You need to get comfortable sitting on the floor. But remember, you can do it in a chair, or you can prop yourself up on blankets or cushions or pillows. Build yourself a little throne. All right, we take away the barriers to practice. Bring the other shin in front if you can remember. So you don't want that imbalance in your hips. Right, nice and simple. Movement through the neck. Bring the hands so the palms are out. And then I'm just going to take my glasses off for this one because I don't need them. So drop the chin down. And then just rock your chin a little side to side. Just freeing up kind of the back and the sides of the neck. Think about your posture. Your posture is really important in yoga. So even though we don't need to be super flexible, it is preferable if we can sit with the spine long and the shoulders relaxed. Because what it does, you think about it physically, it gives us a lot of room to breathe into. And then maybe just begin to rotate your head. Pick a direction. If a circle feels good, go for it. Maybe inhaling up, maybe exhale as the chin just falls down. Beautiful. Inhale, come back to center. Take a full exhale and then just swap it out. Come back the other way. And then eventually, actually do another 2 or 3 more just to even it out. Feels like we haven't moved as much on this side. And then eventually inhale, bring the head all the way back to center. Take a full exhale. And then just let the breath come to a nice steady rhythm. Maybe the eyes remain closed and you're just checking in. Maybe just very gently check in with your posture. Notice the space that you can create here. And then if your eyes are closed, just very gently come with your eyes open. Swap your legs out again. We're not going to do a huge amount of moving today, but bring your legs out and then just drop your knees side to side again. Feels nice, right? I could probably just sit there and move my head around like that for half an hour and maybe then spend 10 minutes doing this with my feet, just checking in on the time. We're doing absolutely fine. We're going for about 40 minutes today. We'll just work through these postures. And then hopefully we will end the class in a state of bliss. I'm only joking, of course. Hopefully you feel slightly better than you did when you arrived, and that's good enough for me, and maybe good enough for you. All right, bring your other shin in front. Beautiful. Let's do a little twist. Let's stick the old specs back on. All right, from here, inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And then exhale, twist over towards the right-hand side. So your left hand is on your right knee. Your right hand is behind. Inhale to find length, and then exhale into your twist. Breathe it out here. Nice deep inhale. And a full exhale. Inhaling. And exhaling. One more like that. Nice deep inhale. And a full exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, bring the hands back. Before we go to the other side, clasp the hands, push the palms up towards the ceiling or the sky. I've been seeing a few people practice outside, which is beautiful. As you exhale, push the palms forward around the spine, separate the shoulders. So we do this most weeks, right? So nice movement, cat-cow seated. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale as you round into your spine. 3 more like that. Inhale to find length. And exhale to round. Inhaling up. Exhale to round. And then one more time. Inhale to come all the way up. And then exhale, twist to the opposite side. So bring your right hand onto your left knee, your left hand behind. Inhale to find length. And exhale into your twist. And then just move here. Inhaling, exhaling as you go. Remember, you're not quite static. You can kind of move around within the pose. Every inhale, you find a little bit more length. Every exhale, maybe a little bit more twist, but no need to push it. A couple more rounds of breath. Nice. Then inhale, come all the way back to center. Sweep the arms all the way back up. Make a prayer above the head. And then exhale. Bring the hands all the way back down. Nice. Lean back into the hands again. Separate the feet. Remember which shin was in front. Knock the knees a little side to side. Maybe bring the legs out, right? Get a little bit sweaty behind the knees in this weather. So maybe that's nice just to bring the legs out. Massage the legs. That can feel really good. All right, we'll come back to a twist in a moment, but let's do a little, I'm looking around because I want to grab a blanket. Let's do butterfly pose or cobbler. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a blanket. If you have a blanket, maybe grab one, or a cushion would work as well. And the reason I'm doing this is because what I want to do is I want to make sure that my pelvis kind of rotates forward. So this one, that's my blanket, not too high, right? Just like that. And then what I'll do is I'll place my bottom right on the edge of that blanket. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Now you can see that's useful, right? Because if I didn't have my blanket and I wasn't sitting on the edge of it, what's happening is my pelvis begins to rotate forwards, which is great because I'm not trying to pull myself down onto the floor, by the way. But if I'm just sitting directly on the floor, I sort of lean back a little bit and I'm already battling the pose. And I don't want to battle any of my yoga poses. So you bring the soles of the feet together if you can. If you're on a chair, you can do this, right? You can kind of come onto the blade edges of your feet, the outer edges of your feet. Now, in cobbler, it's quite a big external hip opener, right? So the feet are together. You see my knees are, that's where they want to go. I'm not going to force them down. I can't force them down. So I can just sit here like this. I can bring the arms out. I can bring the palms face up. So this is nice, right? If I close my eyes, and I really breathe down into my lower spine and breathe into my hips, then I'm certainly feeling something, right? I feel it kind of on the outer hips. I feel it in the inside of the hips, the hip flexors. I can feel my spine, reacting to this in a good way, not in a bad way. So this is perfect for a lot of people. Some people go the other way and they'll kind of bring the fingertips behind, they'll press into the fingers and they'll lean back a little bit, right? So now you see I've got this advantage of having my heart space open, my belly open, and I can breathe into this space. I can have a little wriggle around. Maybe you want to do this version. You come back to seated, with the spine long, and then you bring the hands onto the balls of the feet. And you see, I'm just going to prise my feet open. This is that cobbler version, right? Where you just kind of open the feet out. And if you do that, then you feel this activation in the adductor muscles, which are the muscles that run up the inside of the legs. They can get really tight. It's not always your hamstrings. Now, if you do this version, you can round into the spine. Don't pull or anything. Don't force yourself into a shape. And maybe you let your head go. If you have a bolster, you can bring a bolster in between your legs. You maybe place the head on the bolster. But it's your choice, right? This is just a gentle kind of surrender of the heart down towards the floor. It's a hip opener. You're going to get a gentle stretch through the spine. And you just breathe into this, right? On a day like today, when it's 25 degrees in the sunny East Midlands, you don't want to move around too much, right? This is about calming the mind, working into the body, getting curious about things. That's all we need to do. From here, maybe take a couple more rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, just slowly, wherever you find yourself, this time, bring the fingertips so they face forward. You can see I've just planted my fingertips down. Bring the feet out and then beyond the soles of the feet, kind of all four corners of the feet. If you're with me down on the floor, you can do this in the chair as well. Kind of just bring the feet down. And if you want to do some reverse tables, you just lift the hips, maybe look back, but just be gentle with the neck. And then exhale, bring your hips all the way down. You let your bottom kind of glide onto the floor. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Maybe another one like that. Inhale to come up. And exhale to come down. Nice. Bring your other shin in front, if you can remember. Have a little wriggle around. Where's my tea? Have a drink if that feels good. It's all about the hydration, right? Got to stay hydrated. Okay, so from here, let's do another twist. So we're going to do something which I did in chair yoga the other day, and it kind of worked. So probably works slightly better in a chair, but let's see how we get on. So from seated, inhale, sweep the arms up. What I'd like you to do is keep the left arm lifted if you can, and then just draw the right arm back. So now there's a twist going on, yeah? Now bring the left arm in line with the right shoulder. And you can just kind of swivel a little bit on the axis of the spine. So you're just kind of moving backwards, moving forwards. Again, not expecting too much of the body here. Inhaling and exhaling. It doesn't matter where you inhale and you exhale, but what I'm encouraging you to do is just to breathe into this shape. And then you can make it a little bit more active. So if you wanted to bring an active breath in, think about something like breath of fire. It doesn't have to be breath of fire, but it would be quite rapid in and out through the nose. So it might be a so twisting to the right. Hopefully you create your own little wind system here as well. It's beautiful, right? A couple more times. Inhale, bring the arms back to center. Exhale, bring them down. Bring the hands onto the knees, give the shoulders a little roll, a little shrug, whatever feels good. Again, don't think about it too much. Just bring these lovely movements in. Feel that, right? It's quite energetic. Okay, let's take an inhale. Sweep the arms all the way back up. Keep the right arm lifted. Lengthen through the left arm. And then bring the right arm in line with the left shoulder. So you're twisting towards the left. And then again, maybe just move with the breath. You don't have to kind of bring the breath in too formal manner, but you can just begin to kind of twist, kind of lead with the back arm, and then the front arm acts as a little pendulum, and then maybe use the breath. Be gentle as you go. Don't push it. Don't think that if I twist a little more or if I twist a little faster, everything's going to be better. It doesn't mean anything's going to be better. It's like, only if I ran a little bit quicker, or if I walked a little bit quicker. It doesn't mean that things are better. It's just different, right? So different versions of the way we move. All right, inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, bring the hands down. Same thing again, palms face down, give the shoulders a little shrug out, maybe a little roll backwards, forwards, whatever feels good. And then bring the chin down again, give the head a little rock out, kind of free up any tension in the back of the head. Don't want to build any tension there at all. And then what we're going to do is just going to sit for a little bit of time. So if you wanted to do that with your back against a wall, or you want to do that in a chair, feel free. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move just a little bit. And I'm just going to knock my knees side to side, and I'm going to bring my other shin in front. I'm just checking on the time. We're looking good for time. So we'll do a little bit of seated awareness, I guess. And then what we'll do is we're going to do a little bit of breath work. And this breath work we can take with us through the spring and the summer, because it's a good breath work to do when it's a little bit warmer. All right. Probably don't want my blanket anymore. Don't need that. Okay. Make yourself comfortable. Sit nice and tall. Bring the hands. I do this. I bring my thumb and my forefinger together. It's called Gyan Mudra. It's a nice mudra to come into. Just a little connection between my thumb and my forefinger. It kind of just settles my mind. Maybe close your eyes. And maybe reflect on your practice so far. Notice how your practice feels. And that's the right word, right? Feel. Feel into your body. Don't think into it. Feel into your practice without any judgment. Just kind of be curious. Maybe you pick up on, a little bit of energy within your body. Maybe it feels different. How does your breath feel within your body? Does it feel different from when we started, half an hour ago? Is your breath settled into a more nourishing, calming rhythm? Do you feel heat in the body? For me, there's a lot of heat in my body today. I can feel, the warmth. It's nice, isn't it? After what always feels like a long winter, to kind of come into a period of still weather, kind of warms the bones and brings a little smile to your face, right? Makes you happy to be alive and to be experiencing it. And if you found yourself with your eyes closed, then you can very gently come with your eyes open. Beautiful work, everyone. And then final time, we'll do this probably anyway. Bring the legs out, have a little shift around, move the knees from side to side. And then we're going to come back to a seated position. So again, you can do this in a chair if you feel more comfortable in a chair, or you can do this with your back up against the wall, or you can stay on your mat. I'm just going to top my tea up. It's important, right? It's important to top your tea up. Okay, so we're going to do this breath called Sitali breath, or Sitali breath. I'll call it Sitali breath. I think it's spelled Sitali, Sitali. It might have two T's or two L's. I'm not 100% sure. It might be spelled different in different places. So it's a cooling breath. And what we do is we breathe through our tongue. So we kind of use the moisture of our tongue to kind of cool the body down. And it's been used by yogis for thousands and thousands of years. It's been a very important breath practice for people, and it does actually work. It looks a little bit odd. So if you can roll your tongue, and not everybody can, genetics says that some people can't roll their tongue, then you breathe through your rolled up tongue. So I'll show you for the people that can do it. I can do it, fortunately, or it's not fortunate, but I can show you. So you kind of stick your tongue out, you roll it, and you breathe through it. And then you breathe out through your nose. So if anyone joined at that moment, they'll be like, this is odd. What's that guy doing? So you breathe through your tongue, you breathe out through your nose. Now, if you can't breathe through your tongue, you've got two options. What some people like to do is they purse their lips and they breathe through their pursed lips. So it's like this. And then breathe out through your nose. So that kind of, for me, that's a nice one, right? It's kind of like breathing through a straw. If you don't like that, then you can do this. You can bring your teeth together. Breathe through your teeth. But for me, it's a little bit too active for me. And the noise is a bit odd for me. So I don't like doing it that way. So there are your three options that you can do. You always breathe out through the nose. And what you'll probably be really surprised about how much breath you can draw in on the inhale. Something about breathing through the tongue or breathing through, like a pursed lips, like through a straw. So you kind of concentrate the breath. And what this is going to do, it's going to cool you down. And then we're going to come down onto our backs. So join me if you want to. It looks weird. It sounds a bit weird. But hey, weird stuff, right? Weird stuff's good, right? It's probably not weird at all. We're forced into doing all sorts of strange things, aren't we, in our lives? So, we don't say that they're weird. So, weirdness, whatever takes your fancy. Okay. All right. So sit nice and tall. What am I talking about? Okay. So if you're joining with me with the tongue, great. Yeah, otherwise, find another option. Sitting tall, maybe closing the eyes, and then start in your breath rhythm. Breathing out through the nose. And we'll all kind of move at a slightly different rhythm, so don't feel like you've got to follow me. Really empty the breath on the exhale through the nose. Kind of let all the breath leave the lungs. And maybe do another 3 rounds. So there's certainly no rush to get to the end there. Nice and slowly. And when you finish that third long exhale, then just let your breath come back to a steady rhythm. Maybe notice the effects of that breath practice. It's not just cooling, it's calming as well, right? Something very calming about it. And then just the final movement we'll do through our head and our neck. We're just going to do this one. We're going to inhale the head over towards the left. And exhale the head over towards the right. Inhale left. And exhale right. couple more times on either side. And then eventually inhaling your head all the way back to center. And then taking a full exhale. Beautiful. All right, we're going to come to lie down. So when you're ready, come to lie down on your back. I'm just going to shuffle backwards to come to lie down, and then maybe just squeeze your knees in. Squeeze the knees in towards your belly. And this is probably good enough, right? Just squeezing the knees in and just letting the lower spine release. But it'd probably be nice just to do a nice gentle twist. So you can bring the arms out, and then you're going to drop your knees over towards the right. So you can do any twist you want. I like to kind of bring the knees pretty wide and then just drop the knees over towards the right-hand side, softening my left shoulder as I go. And then sometimes I'll just turn my head to the left. Just a few breaths. And then when you're ready, you can just swap out, or you can remain there a little longer, but drop your knees to the opposite side. Rearrange your shoulders if you need to. When you're ready, inhale. Bring your knees all the way back to center. Hug the knees in. One final time. And then set yourself up in final resting pose. So it can be here in this constructive rest version, the feet just down on the floor, or you can lengthen out through the legs. It's probably where I'm going to go today, and let the feet fall open. And we'll just spend a few minutes here. Shout at me if I fall asleep. The idea here is to find as much relaxation as you can without falling asleep, right? Kind of the awareness is on the sensations in the body, and then the sensations on the breath, and then maybe that awareness just drops away just a little bit. It's really important that we find time just to let the body be still at the end of a practice. And then from here, just very gently and slowly, just begin to bring some movements back in, fingers, toes, and then maybe the ankles and the wrists. But maybe there's a good stretch out through the body. Ooh. Move in any way that feels good. I generally like to bring my knees back in. It's a nice way to kind of finish Shavasana. And maybe draw the knees around in circles, or the hips around in circles, get the knees together, or you can widen the knees out, whatever works. Nice. And then we'll come back to a seated position. So come back to seated any way that feels good for you. Slowly coming back to Sukhasana, or maybe back into a chair. It's your choice. And then sitting nice and tall again, maybe closing your eyes, and for the final time, just notice the effects of your practice. And then we can draw our hands to our heart if that feels good, and have your hands in prayer. And then maybe just with a wholehearted bow, you can wish yourself well, wish everybody else well. Namaste. Thanks, you guys. Thank you for joining today. And I feel different now, right? I feel different. I actually feel, I was going to say I feel calm. I was quite animated at the start, wasn't I? But I've definitely gone into a different kind of energy, a different space. It's funny. I feel kind of energized, but I also feel calm and relaxed at the same time, which is a nice place to be, right? That hopefully that's probably groundedness, right? That's probably groundedness. I've got a little bit of sun on my face as well. It's bank holiday weekend, so whatever you're doing this weekend, I hope it's a good one. I'm up to Northumberland tomorrow for a few days. That'll be nice, even though it's getting colder, but it's not going to rain. So yeah, hopefully have a great time. Let me just do this. Let me just have a quick look at the comments. Thank you, Irene. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Victor. Oh, it's Pauline. Pauline's on Victor's laptop, and Margaret was around as well. So thank you so much, guys. Remember all the stuff that I said at the start: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Follow these guys. 5 years of amazing work, and hopefully loads and loads more years to come, where the content will just be shaped by you guys out there. So stay involved, make it this community that kind of really just shapes the future together. All right, everyone, that's enough from me. I'll see you all soon. I'm back next week. Chair yoga, seated yoga. It's all good, right? Namaste.